Hey everybody, it's Galmadex, and welcome back to another premiere draft of the Powered Cube on Arena, our chance to play with some of the most powerful spells in Magic's history, including the Power 9 themselves. It's a very fun trip down the history of Magic with some crazy, crazy decks. I am not the most experienced at it. If you want to see some really good drafters, check out LSV Cheon and Numat the Nummy. With that whole spiel out of the way, without further ado, let's just hop into some more drafts, have some more fun here. We open Ancestral Recall, we'll draft an Ancestral Recall. 1 mana instant, target player draws 3, an absolutely egregious rate when you look at it from modern design standards, and a very, very strong card. So we'll start with that here, but there's some new hotness in this pack. There's a new card that wasn't in the cube the last time around that I think is pretty great. Badger Mole Cub, really fun one to build around. You could play this with the Llanowar Elves and Elvish Mystic style green decks and get just a bajillion mana really quick. But it also has some cute synergies where you could play Strip Mine turn 1, then turn 2, you go Forest, Badger Mole Cub, Earthbend your Strip Mine. You can blow up one of their lands and get the Strip Mine back to the board tapped. So Badger Mole Cub has a lot of play to it, but I don't think we can take it over Ancestral Recall. Pick number 2. We do love drawing cards here, and Library of Alexandria is another pretty fun way to do so. It's gonna cost us a mana every turn, and we can only use it during turns where we have exactly 7 cards in hand. That's not too difficult to manipulate, especially when you have a bunch of other draw spells, like being a blue deck that has Ancestral Recall. So I think I'm going to take the library here, go for a pretty draw-heavy kind of deck. Bunch of other great cards here. Memory Lapse for a temporary control spell. Time Spiral is an excellent combo card for stormy stuff. Recurring Nightmare is the reanimation spell with 2 different great reanimation targets like Archon and Atali. But let's grab Library of Alexandria. Pick number 3, Miscalculation. Just stick heavy to blue now. We could also take Ramanap Excavator if we want to try to wheel Strip Mine. I don't think we're going to. This would be the kind of card like if we first picked the Strip Mine and we had one already in our pile, then yeah, we could take Ramanap, but I don't think we speculate on a Strip Mine wheeling around the pod. I'm going to go Miscalc here, but Sunfall is also reasonable if we want to just lock in on being like a blue-white control deck. That's a good board wipe. But I'm just going to stick deep on blue for now and pick things a little later. Mox Opal, so artifacts are open. The famous LSV quote where he overdrafts artifact decks in Powered Cube, but I love artifact decks as well. I do think they're quite fun, so we could take a Mox Opal here and try to take a bunch of talismans and other mana rocks. If we're lucky, try to get our hands on like Workshop and Tolarian Academy and stuff. Go towards that kind of deck. Giver of Runes is great for aggro. There's multiple great cards for green ramp. I don't think our first 3 picks really work well for green ramp. Or for aggro, to be fair. Yeah, the safest picks are probably like Deep Cavern Bat, Liliana, and Lightning Helix for some kind of controlling deck, be it blue-black control or Jeskai control. But I can't resist. I'll take Mox Opal. Now we get Counterspell. Actual factual Counterspell, pick 5. Green's looking pretty open. Although, again, none of these green cards really pair super well with blue. I guess Tireless Tracker could do it. Get a bunch of clue tokens, then you could hold up your counter spells, and when you don't have to cast them, you just crack a clue. Pick 6. Another white board wipe, somewhat late. Plus the early white removal spell of Portable Hole. I actually don't love that Ultima blows up all of our artifacts for if we get a bunch of Moxes and do try to play the artifact build, but I really only have the one card towards that, the Mox Opal. We could just be a generic blue-white control deck that doesn't happen to open Moxes and stuff where this is just a great board wipe. I think seeing a couple good controlling white spells now, somewhat late, I will actually take one of those now and maybe see about pushing into blue-white control. Lotus Petal for stormy stuff. Suplex and Burst Lighting for cheap red removal. Backstreet for white-black fixing. And there's Triplicate Titan for a Tinker target if we find a Tinker, or Sarah Paragon. This feels like more of an aggressive card. You want a lot of permanents mana value 3 or less to recast with it. I kind of want to just take the cheap removal here. I'm going to go for the suplex because it can also shoot mana rocks. And now we get a Vivi. That could be fun. Blue-red Vivi control. Yeah, let's try Vivi out. Vivi wasn't in the cube the first time around, so let's see. Pick 9, still a 3 steps ahead, and an Unholy Heat. Both are great cards for a blue-red Vivi deck. Exactly the kind of cards I want to see coming late here. I'm going to go... I think I'm going to go 3 steps ahead here. We're definitely deeper into blue than red by a little bit. These are both great, though. I mean, Unholy Heat's really efficient. If you can get Delirium. I'm actually going to go for the cheaper spell. The more cheaper spells are, the better they are with the Vivi. You can get those triggers more easily. Time Spiral. I'm not sure exactly what Time Spiral is going to be doing here, but we could take it. Maybe there's some kind of Vivi Storm deck. Just keep pinging your opponent as you Time Spiral, untap all your lands, and try to spam a bunch more spells. Could be something. There's blue-red dual with Steam Vents. There's also a Braid, though. Do want to take the Great Interaction. If I pass up on too many dual lands, then we're not going to be able to like splash into a third color at all, but we could still have an okay blue-red mana base. I already have Heat and Suplex and 2 counter spells. I think I can pass this Abrade for Steam Vents, but that is pretty close. Revoker or Helix off of a white splash. Can't imagine myself being too excited about Phyrexian Revoker. I'll just take a Helix speculatively. Blue-white duel towards the Helix. Thundertrap Trainer over Embereth Shieldbreaker. Okay. There's the Workshop, but the only other artifact we got all draft was the Opal. Feels like it could be somewhat cut here, and I shouldn't try to force it without having seen even just like a bunch of talismans, let alone like really good artifacts. I think we just take Mana Leak here, go all in on blue-red Vivi. Should be a pretty fun deck. Bunch of other cards that'd be solid for the deck too. Galvanic Blast, Spell Pierce, Seed Shark. Well, let's take a Mana Leak. Frantic Search is fun for the combo-y side of Vivi. And then we have Frantic Search and Time Spiral untapping lands and trying to go for the kind of combo route. Ancient Tomb is also really good with Time Spiral style effects. What if we take the Tomb? And then if we're like really lucky, have a Tomb and wheel a Frantic Search could be pretty sick for 2 different ways to untap it. There's Wrath of God for going full Jeskai. But I don't think we're aggressive enough to care about Inti. And Oculus is a little slow without cheating it some way. I'm going to take the Tomb. Tomb and then have a chance of wheeling Frantic Search. Sounds very fun if we do. There's a Jace, there's a Lion's Eye Diamond, there's a Plunderer, there's a River Pyre Verge. So if we take Lion's Eye Diamond, this is towards the Underworld Breach style Storm deck of just spam a bunch of spells in one turn, try to kill them with Vivi. If we get the Brainstorm, that would work too. River Pyre Verge is definitely the safe pick. That's going to make the deck no matter what. It's going to help our mana a lot. We do have some restrictive costs. We've got an early double blue here, and we might be pushing into a third color. Lion's Eye Diamond is the funnest pick, but the least likely to matter, because it only matters if we see, like, Underworld Breach. Yeah, I'm just going to take the Verge. There's a loot tree that makes the cut no matter what. Gets to chill on our sideboard, or there's Cryptic Command. I'm going to go Cryptic Command. I think it's just a classic, incredible counterspell. Lorien Revealed. We can play as mana fixing. Anytime we draw this, we basically get a tapped land for the turn, because we have to tap 1 mana to use it, then we can grab an untapped Steam Vents. But that's good fixing. That makes sure that we don't flood out as much in the late game, because then we just cast it for the draw 3. Certainly better than Ivora. Probably a bit better than the Sacred Foundry. When I just have 1 Helix, 1 Ultima, we still don't know for sure if we're even playing white. Dak Faden's a wonderful card. against opponents who manage to open moxes, you can steal their moxes from them and then, you know, keep sifting through your deck with that draw 2 discard too. Don't mind it at all. Jace and Monastery Swiftspear could both also be fun here, particularly Jace. We're a more controlling blue-red deck.
But I love to win.
Stern Scolding. It's interesting. That probably counters a lot more spells than you would think. There's also Celestial Colonnade, though. If we splash into white, this is one of my favorite duels. We've won a lot of games in this trip already off Celestial Colonnade hits to our opponent's face, but Faithless Looting for Vivi Storm combo stuff is also fun. I'm going to go Faithless Looting here. Pick 8 Mystic Confluence for another excellent counterspell or expressive iteration for huge card draw. You draw 2 of your top 3. You have to play one of them by the end of your next turn. But essentially it's a draw 2 and then the third card goes on the bottom. I'm going to go for that Mystic Confluence still. Just load up on great counterspells, make sure we are dealing with everything our opponent's doing. This Ancient Tomb does make the Talisman of Conviction a little better. But Seed Shark seems kind of perfect. We're casting a lot of instants and sorceries. We need some more ways to spit some creatures out. We got the Frantic Search to go with the Tomb. It did wheel. The plan aligned, although I'm not even sure how much we're going for that route over just straight up blue-red control at this point. I mean, I've got Looting, Frantic Search, Time Spiral, Tomb to untap. It's like blue-red control with, like, if we draw Vivi, try to go crazy as another plan.
I'm always a step ahead.
Fairy Mastermind over Gobin. Gobin's better for reanimator stuff. Discard your thing. There's Tendrils trying to storm out, but we didn't take LED. We have no way to get black mana right now. I'm gonna take Mastermind. I don't think I'm playing this Ivora, but I guess there's a teeny tiny chance. Okay. Pack 3, pick 1 Soul Ring. There's an Upheaval, a Narset, a Chandra, a really good pack, but we gotta take that Soul Ring. The mana acceleration off that is absolutely absurd. Speaking of absurd mana acceleration, mana drain their spell and then cast a big spell the next turn. We don't have a bunch of high mana stuff to dump the mana drain mana into, but this is at worst a second copy of Counterspell, which is already good. So we'll take the mana drain here. If we're really lucky, we wheel a Flame Slash, which would be another fantastic card. We have Third Path Iconoclast for another way to spit out a bunch of creatures while we're casting all these spells. We also have Consult the Star Charts, though, for another instant speed card draw spell we can use if we don't have to counter something. Like we're holding up the counter mana, they don't play anything counterable. Just dump our mana into a Consult. I like both of these a lot. Iconoclast should be more likely to wheel, being specifically blue-red, so I'll take Consult. Brainstorm's also reasonable, but we don't have a bunch of ways to shuffle our deck right now. I'd love to take Underworld Breach, but we're not doing that. Breach Storm. At least I'm not experienced enough to know if we are still in a good enough position to try to do that with Vivi. I mean, we didn't wheel the Lion's Eye Diamond, so we're not going to have a Lion's Eye Diamond. We could still have Breach plus Brain Freeze or whatever. We never saw that yet. And I'll take that over Probe. That's the closest one. Probe would be good in here just generically no matter what. I'll take a Breach. We'll see. It's probably not happening. Snapcaster Mage looks awesome for this deck. I could Expedition Map for Library of Alexandria, but I don't think that's particularly good, because Library is really only going to be great if it's in our opening hand. Because otherwise, if it's later in the game and then we top deck like an Expedition Map, we're highly unlikely to have played the game in a way that would have us that would leave us with like 7 cards in hand still to activate the library. Like if we top deck an expedition map, we're probably going to top deck it when we have 3 or 4 cards in hand, where tutoring out a library is just not that good. Okay. Props Eidetic Memory is a lot of fun if we have any creatures on board. But we don't have very many creatures, so I guess I'd rather just play the Planisphere, which can work pretty similarly if we spend the extra mana to be moving it around, re-equipping it. There's Seething Songstorm, Ponder, Malcolm, Ravager are just fine. Ponder and like one of these filler artifacts look good to me. I'm gonna grab Ponder. Got an Upheaval. I don't think we're playing Upheaval. As much as I like that card, this is like a 1-mana rock deck. This is not an Upheaval deck. Take a Ghost Fire Slice then. Get a Plateau for white fixing. Probably splashing in Oust and Helix. We have 2 pieces of white fixing. We wheel the Iconoclast. We wheel the blue, red, white Triome and an Archive. Yeah, now we have 4 white sources immediately. Oh, I should have taken Displacer Kitten. We got an last pick Coveted Jewel. I saw that Displacer Kitten and I was like, we don't really have anything that's crazy with Displacer Kitten right now, and we're not gonna wheel one because that Coveted Jewel was late enough that I don't think we were gonna wheel anything out of that pack, but we were gonna wheel exactly 1 card, and that 1 card turned out to be the Coveted Jewel for the Displacer Kitten, so you can just spam spells and draw infinite. Thing goes crazy. Alright, so we're just gonna be like blue-red control, tiny white splash. Should be fun. I don't actually think Ancient Tomb is the greatest in this deck, so I think I'm going to cut the untap nonsense and just focus up on just being a good control deck up front. The reason that the Ancient Tomb isn't the greatest in this deck is because we've got a lot of like 1 generic mana costs. Triple blue and 1 generic, triple blue, 1 generic, blue red and 1 generic. It could still be okay, but I think the Frantic Search Time Spiral stuff is going a little too deep. I will say this is an excellent Library of Alexandria deck. Tons of 1-for-1 counter spells and burn spells and stuff. So if we have like a Library of Alexandria opening hand, like an opening hand of like Library of Alexandria, Mana Leak, Miscalc, Unholy Heat, like that's perfect stuff. Having just Library and a bunch of good 1-for-1 interaction. Probably not a Jace deck. Lorien Revealed is another land, so we cut a land here, which might be Ancient Tomb, but it may be one of the basics. So we'll be cutting Jace, we'll be cutting 1 land, still 1 more card to cut. I can probably cut 2 lands, cut a land for a Soul Ring as well. Sure, yeah, let's just cut 2 lands here. 18 blue cards, 8 red, and 2 white. We have 6 white sources right now for Oust and Helix. That's wonderful. How many blue sources do we have right now? 10 blue sources, and we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red. Jesus, man, it's great. I'm going to cut another red for another blue. And then I guess we need to cut 2 lands. I want to keep my colors high. I could cut Tomb. Again, it's a lot of cheap stuff, a lot of stuff that doesn't have generic symbols. So Ancient Tomb doesn't help cast 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of our early spells have no generic in the cost at all, and then a lot of them only have 1. Actually, it's 8 of them. I didn't count Lightning Helix. Yeah, this is not a good Ancient Tomb deck. I'm going to cut Ancient Tomb and then we cut one more land. We could cut the One of Plains and still have the 5 white sources. And we've got a good amount of card draw going on as well. Card selection stuff. Yeah. Alright, we got ourselves a blue-red Spellslinger control build, a blue-red Vivi control build. This looks like a really fun one. Very excited to see how it does. Without further ado, let's hop into the gameplay. Here we are on the plate for game number 1. Bunch of counter spells to hold up turn 2 and onward. We got a DAC if they play a Mox or something. Probably holding on to the Lore and Revealed to actually cast as a draw 3. Blue-red mirror match. We've countered our opponent's third path Iconoclast, so they cannot get their entire army of 1/1s off of that one spell. Talisman of Progress is fine. We find Vivi. Let us see if we can DAC that Talisman or if they have their own counter here. Probably want to wait till I draw 5th mana, which means probably cycling Lorien Revealed here in the end. So let's go Thunder Trap Trainer for 2, holding up Counterspell and cycling Lorien Revealed. Okay. It seems like they don't have a counterspell here because it auto went, so I could have just played the DAC, sadly, and gotten the Talisman, but finding an Ancestral Recall off the top is still pretty dang good. Now I'll have the 5 mana up next turn for the very safe DAC plus counterspell. It's Urza. Counter that. For sure. They play tap land for turn. Now we can DAC, steal the Talisman, and also draw 3 while they're still tapped out. I should have Ancestraled first. That could have changed what we wanted to do here. It does not, though. I'm going to hold the 1/2 up against a red deck to have DAC defended from a haster. Time Walk. Sure. Time Walk is just draw 1 card, play 1 land. But that gets them to the Kappa Cannoneer, which I can steal with a DAC Faden if he lives long enough, which is unlikely, but possible. Okay, Faithless Looting is actually great here. Play Iconoclast, Plateau into the looting. Yeah. Loot again. We find Unholy Heat. Archive. I've already played land for turn. Discard the land. And the Heat, keep a slice that can shoot face. Okay, they're probably going to make Cannoneer unblockable with something and then kill DAC. Upheaval. It's a pretty bad upheaval, so that's cool with us. Upheaval, no mana rocks anywhere. Yeah. Okay. Upheaval, the game starts over. They have turn 1. We're each going to have to discard some cards here. But we will have to discard more cards. Mana Drain coming up for our turn 2. Just double check we don't have a 1 mana play. Nope. So we're back to turn 1. Draw Snapcaster Mage, sick. Snapcaster Ancestral next turn. Although I've got a full grip right now. Mana Drain their Vivi. 3 generic this turn. Means I can play Dak and 1 more card. 1 mono-colored card.
I hate to fight, but I love to win.
So Thunder Trap Trainer it is.
Embarrassing.
Take an oust here. For the Cannoneer, if nothing else. That Ward 4 is difficult, so a 1 mana way to try to deal with it is pretty good. Another Talisman. I mean, if Dak lives, gonna be rough. I could mill out if I keep plussing this Dak, but I only need to plus him once to steal the Talisman.
Isn't the unknown exciting?
If I play anybody, I don't have a counter spell up, so I'm not going to play anybody. We just hold up the Cryptic or the Snapcaster. We're chilling. Dak the next Talisman.
This artifact has a fascinating.
Now I've got Mana Leak for 2 against a small spell. So I could play Vivi and still have Mana Leak up. Or against a big spell, not a small spell. Let's move to main phase 2 so this mana goes away. Then we'll go Vivi, hold up Mana Leak. If I went Iconoclast instead, I could go Iconoclast, hold up Mana Leak. If they don't do anything, I can still try to Snapcast or draw 3. Mystical Tutor. Upheaval. Snapcaster Upheaval. Echo of Eons. Mana Vault. And just try to draw a fresh hand. If I counter this, they don't have the mana to flash it back yet. I get 1 more turn. Yeah, I get 1 more turn to do a bunch of stuff to them before they cast it. Which is super worth it. And then I could just Cryptic it if I have triple blue, which I do, so play Iconoclast, hold up Cryptic. I mean, honestly, I think if it even resolves, we'll be fine. But might as well not leave anything up to chance. We're like locked in for... Yeah, just all counter spells. Locked in for a kill here. Confluence needs 5 mana. Guess I can Vivi out the Seed Shark then. Nine cards left. We definitely get the kill before we mill out. And there's the concession from our opponent. We just fully out-controlled in the mirror match. And get the kill with some VV pings in the end. That is 1-0 heading into game 2. Here we are on the play for game number 2. We'll keep this. The one blue source only is a little bit rough, but it's got pretty good interaction having an oust and a deck. Another red source is awkward. Come on, Ponder. Okay. But that's another blue source. That's a Soul Ring. We draw those cards for sure. Opponent has the blue, red, green Triome and a blue source. Let's see if they counter Seed Shark here. They do. It's mana drain as well, which could be real bad. Means they can cast a high mana value card this turn. Hopefully it's like a big artifact we can steal. That would be awesome. They play a swamp here. So blue, black, red, blue, black, green, some kind of combination of all that. I think they timed out of their turn. Yeah, there's the oops from opponent. We just drop a DAC, draw 2, discard 2 here. I could have played a land to play around Mana Leak, but I was instinctually not playing it because we want to probably discard the mountains here.
They'll never know what hit them.
They did not have a Mana Leak.
I'm a talented improviser.
Super unlikely to get back to 7 cards in hand, but we have so much red mana here, it's better to have the off chance of drawing extra library cards than it is to hold on to another mountain. They're just gonna cycle a Triome, sure. Grief, get rid of the Ghost Fire Slice, I guess. Yep. Cryptic Command is the draw. Probably discarding Library of Alexandria now. Certainly Faithless Looting. Yeah, Faithless Looting in Library. Can oust the Grief. Second from the top. Keep Dak around. Dak ults at 6. What if you cast a spell that targets permanent, gain control of them? Yeah, we have burn spells that are small enough to maybe steal stuff. Sounds like a plan. We don't have a lot to flash back to our Snapcaster right now. Orcish Bowmasters is pretty rude. Could Snapcaster the Ghost Fire Slice on that. I don't hate it. I'm not going to throw a counter spell at it.
It's no fun if there's no risk.
Animate dead a Seed Shark. You can Cryptic Command the shark back to our hand later, return a permanent to its owner's hand. I think we allow it. And Snapcaster the Bowmasters. This Dak Plus is straight up just going to be a mill 2, but it is what it is.
I'm a talented improviser.
Well, at least our Seed Shark will start putting artifacts on their board. If they go for that over the Grief here. They are just going to go for the Grief. Okay. I kind of want to Mana Leak this and hold on to the Cryptic and let them have Seed Shark for a turn or two. No, if I want to get towards a potential ult, I have to Cryptic. And we are at ult mana. Well, ult loyalty, not ult mana.
A little looting never hurts.
Just gonna ult here. I'm not gonna mill anymore at 17 cards.
I'll be rich enough to retire.
And we start grinding out the kill. gain control of Oculus, and then it's gonna die. There's the concession from our opponent. We just got a ton of incubator power on the board from that. They're down to a single card in their hand, and they're over it. That is 2-0 heading to game 3. Here we are on the play for game 3. We got a turn 1 Soul Ring, which is going to help the Confluence, I guess. And I guess we go Mastermind and Mana Leak next turn, never mind. Ooh, turn 1 Black Lotus. One up the little bit. One up the little bits. If I want double blue untapped, I have to Lorien revealed here. Probably worth it. They're gonna have all the mana. Terrifying. They can resolve 1 instant. Well, actually as many instances they have, but they have to be instance Bowmasters. Card's really good against our deck. Goodbye, Mastermind. Oh, it's being really good against our deck. I think I need to get more blue mana out. That helps Library of Alexandria. We gotta find a way to deal with this Bowmasters, but I don't think we can... I mean, I could Surveil Recall in the grave, but that just feels awful. We still get to draw the cards, even if it shoots us for it. Opponent gets to pillage the bog for the full-on tutor here. Bowmasters is so rough for me. I think I still have to recall. Take a bunch to the face to find a way to kill the Bowmasters. There we go. There's a way to kill the Bowmasters. Let them shoot me one more time. Find Unholy Heats. I have Snapcaster Ancestral. I can play a lot of cards here. I really want a Confluence to counterspell and bounce that token. But if I just hold off and try to do that, and they just hit me with the token and the Vine Stalk, I'm already dead. So I don't think I can afford to wait to kill the token. I have to oust. So Pillage the Bog looks at 8 cards right now. If they play one more land, this looks 10 cards deep for anything, so almost half their library. Yep. Snapcaster for Ancestral, that's all right now I can Snapcaster for. Yeah, only having the one counterspell up here is kind of bad. I have to save it for an actual threat. Because even if they have like just 2 or 3 cards in hand without playing that, or without that recall resolving, if their hand is like recall and then like a 7/7 or something, I need that counterspell for the 7/7. Yeah, they're playing a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter. Okay. What do you say to my Snapcaster? Mana Leak is what you say to Snapcaster. I mean, I can Mana Leak to resolve it, but then I won't flash anything back anyway. Sure. I have any 2 counter spells that I want untapped here without playing my land for turn, so I will not play it when I have Library of Alexandria on board. They just start attacking with Vinestock, I'm just gonna die to it. They are not going to, though. It's good for me. They have Black Lotus for our Mana Leak. Okay, I don't actually have double counterspell here. Because they have so much mana, the Mana Leak is not going to do anything. I should have played another blue source. I could have both my blue counters up. Both my double blue counters up, I should say. I was treating Mana Leak with a lot more respect than it deserved because I forgot about that Black Lotus that's been sitting there since turn 1. Like, theoretically, against the 6 lands, sure, Mana Leak does work, but Black Lotus is the counter for the Mana Leak. Yikes. I mean, I could suplex whatever they tinker for, but it's going to get its enter the battlefield effect. Oh, they're a Storm deck. Ooh, Fast Bond? Yeah, they're going for it. We're about to get tendrils to death. Which you can't counter because it storms into a bunch of extra copies. Time Spiral. Yep, we're dead. We're dead.
The moon looks intriguing tonight. Seek and find.
We've got a Time Walk in there somewhere. I guess this is the perfect opportunity to library. So they gave me 7 cards. We know they missed on the Tameo. They got it on the Ancestral. Good stuff. I mean, that is an upgrade from Miscalculation, but it is nowhere near enough mana. Unless it was a counter, unless they pay like 10. That is not going to do anything here. What is the win condition? I'm assuming there's the tendrils or something, or brainstorm or something in there. They could have just killed us with a vine stalk by now if they were just animating their lands earlier. So they must have some other win condition that they're focused on. Just time walk loops? Okay, yeah, that's true. Tameo being able to pick up the time walks is pretty good. Titania for a couple 5/3s because they can pick up a fetch. They've already got an extra turn, so yeah, they just kill us with regular combat damage now. You got me. That is 2-1, heading into game number 4. Okay, here we are on the play for game number 4. We're 2-1 right now. It's a really solid opener. 3 different instant speed plays to have up on turn 2. There's the DAC if they find a mana rock. Yeah, we Fairy Mastermind that. Draw our extra card. Shelldock Isle. That is going to cast something for free pretty soon. As soon as somebody has 20 or less cards in library, which is really easy to do in Cube. If I want to hold up Mana Drain, I can't play Ponder, but I can play Looting. Probably should have just ditched Dak, honestly, over the Ponder. I would be moderately surprised to see a counterspell from our opponent here, because they look deeper into green than the blue. Sick. Flash and Reach is rude. I would be okay with it having one of those 2 abilities, but being Flash and Reach, that would kill my fairy. Look at all this mana. I don't get to hold up a counterspell here. They're all too expensive to Snapcaster. So we're gonna have shields down for 1 turn, because we didn't find a cheap enough counter off of that draw. Shields are down anyway. I probably still just Snapcaster Ancestral here. Stock up. Doesn't count as card draw, so we don't get more fairy triggers. Tarmogoyf, we can oust that. They are running Spell Pierce, okay. Cool. We got a suplex here. Just oust a Goyf and hold up Confluence. And they're at Shelldock mana now. There are Shelldock cards in library now. Olvenwald Oddity. If I counter this, I do not have the bounce for whatever they have under the Shelldock. Confluence can't counter abilities anyway, so we'll tap out and let them do the Shelldock. They aren't going to do it. Interesting. I choose not to play it there. Confused and concerned. I don't have the mana to slice the Oddity and hold up the Confluence. I can play Iconoclast and hold up the Confluence. And they're at 13. I could end up slicing the face here. And step, they go for it. It's Loot, the Pathfinder. I lied, I actually do get to counter it. But now my shields are down for whatever 6 or 7 mana worth of cards they want to play here. Tarmogoyf. Smuggler's Copter for flying blocker. Suplex a Copter. Guess I could DAC it too. Mana Drain. This is a slightly weird deck from our opponent. I was not expecting Mana Drain. Well, we'll DAC the Copter then at that point. Okay, they're over it. They're done with my nonsense, and we are 3-1 heading into game number 5. Here we are on the draw for game number 5. This is a fine opening hand, if not a bit slow, but all of our opening hands are a little bit slow by cube standards. We don't have any moxes in this deck. I guess our one Soul Ring really makes up for it, though. They get rid of Dax, so they probably have some kind of fast mana of their own. Sunset Saboteur. That is going to 2-for-1 me no matter what. So luckily, I do have a flashback card, so I'll just discard the flashback card here. I'll save the Unholy Heat. Actually go for Lightning Helix. Because the Unholy Heat's pretty close to Delirium already, where it'll do 6 instead of 3 and actually be able to kill something bigger. We just need a sorcery. No, we have a sorcery. We just need a land engrave and it'll be there and we can get one off looting. Yeah, because we don't have Cryptic mana right now anyway, so we might as well looting away a couple lands. And then Unholy Heat has Delirium. Oh, wait, no, but then the sorcery's gone. Yeah, it's a little rock in a hard place. Either I don't have a sorcery in my grave or I don't have a land in my grave. We're back at 3 out of 4. One turn of the shield's down, and it doesn't matter. They have nothing there. Soul Ring can still have either of these up. Unless they blow up the Soul Ring, then I just have Mana Drain up, but I still have a counterspell. Thieving Skydiver to steal our Soul Ring. I'll keep the Soul Ring and draw a card. It's gonna be a long game, it looks like. 5 mana for that. Boom, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 mana for that. We wait a turn. Or we just play it without the offering, but I'm 1 land away from the offering, so I'm just gonna sit on it. I imagine we're cycling this Milscalc, but we'll wait another turn. We are never casting Thundertrap Trainer. These aren't lands? Man, I was not lying. We are never casting that thing. Yeah, I'll shuffle. We'll go for a blind draw. There we go. That is an endless stream of creatures from that. I'm gonna have to counter that. And they got their own cryptic now. Memory lapse. Okay. So we'll still have a mana drain for the future, but they are going to be able to start working on just an army of tokens here, which is quite bad. Holding a mana drain. If they don't play something to counter, now we have Consult that we drew. So this is probably just spamming Retrofit or Foundry. We've got a Suplex in there somewhere. We have not dug towards it yet. Not on the top 8 there. This Consult digs deep, so they might even just counter a Consult, which would be pretty fine by us. Not the Suplex. None of that is the Suplex. Just go Ancestral. I can't Snapcaster a Dak. Tear asunder the Fairy. We hit a land. Warring Revealed still have double blue for mana drain. There's Vivi and the Suplex. Suplex with mana drain up. And there you go. They have a couple servos, but we are miles ahead in cards, and we can start killing them with a Vivi starting next turn. There's the concession from our opponent. They see the writing on the wall. We got a Heat and a Mana Drain and 3 unrevealed cards. They are done with it. That is 4-1. Another positive record here, no matter where things go from this. This is some classic blue-white control stuff in this opener. Counterspell, Mana Drain, Snapcaster. We'll keep that hand. Let's see what Archive finds. Ancestral, my god. Is this a screenshot of the 2026 cube or the 2011 cube? Right after Innistrad came out. The saddest part about it, because they have the 1-mana Ragavan, we could still just die here. We could have all these cards and just die to a Ragavan. It is more than possible. This card is really, really good. I don't think I can afford to just play a Snapcaster just trying to trade into Ragavan. I think I have to hold the counters up, but this thing's going to just eat me away for a while here. Give them the treasures and try to cast cards against us. They find Ghost Fire Slice. They can only play it this turn, so they're probably not going to, because that would cost their treasure. They play land for turn. Staff of the Storyteller. Get a 1/1 flyer. Whenever they create one of our creatures, put a counter on it as well. It's not going to give them more creatures. It just gives them 1 right now. Yeah, I think I can Ancestral and then Snapcaster Ancestral, try to block Ragavan. And Ancestral also looks for removal for Ragavan straight up. Doesn't find any. Find a miscalculation now. So Snapcaster to trade into Ragavan and Ancestral ourselves is the plan here. My feeling with casting Snapcaster this early, though, is that they're just going to have a bolt for it anyway. That we won't kill Ragavan. I guess I have the Miscalc up then against a bolt. But I'd have to choose to play Miscalc instead of Ancestral, if that's their play. Okay, that is cheap enough I can't even miscalculation it anyway. Gross. And I will not have miscalculation up during their second main phase because that mana is going to go away. So we might as well Ancestral. Where are my burn spells? Why am I mono blue halfway through the deck? I'm 18 cards deep on all blue spells? Oh my god. Thundertrap Trainer can block a Ragavan, as can a Fairy Mastermind. I guess we're just playing idiots now. It's me, I'm the idiot. Come on. There we go. I won't have a counterspell up the turn that I play that. Which I am unhappy about. We don't need to Helix if they don't throw removal at our Thundertrap Trainer, so we're just chilling to throw a Thundertrap Trainer in the way of a Ragavan now. Okay, we counter the Fury. I think I should actually Mana Leak. I still have Trainer on Ragavan, we just take one this turn. And now we're set up. We're good. If there's a way to lose this game, I will find it. Because I'm not great at control. But it feels like there's very few ways to lose now. Helix for 2, so I do have 5 mana for Confluence here. Which also kills the flyer, which is huge. Just want everything. Beautiful stuff. Flash in a Mastermind and start getting damage. Planisphere as well. Abandoned Air Temple's pretty scary. Mana Drain and Oliphant. Now we're just going full speed ahead. Helix the Ragavan. Lorien revealed off of the Mana drain. Vivi off of it first. Cannot play any more blue spells here. Okay, they are done with our nonsense. There's a concession from our opponent. We are 5-1. We've made it all the way into the money on this run. A great run with this blue-red Vivi control build. Here we are on the play for game 1. Game 1? What am I talking about? We're on like game 7 now. Tapped Theater, turn 1 from our opponent. Here's Ancestral. Need to play a card here to not discard the hand size. Let's get Iconoclast down then. Urza's Saga is their land for turn, an excellent one that's going to tutor out any 0 or 1 mana artifact put into play. They have the Bolt for Iconoclast, and then a Chromatic Star. That is an enchantment land, not an artifact land. Phaeton can't steal that. Phaeton could steal the star. I can't speak anymore today. I don't know what's going on. Stealing the star would put them down a card. They no longer draw a card off that? Sure.
I'm the greatest thief in the multiverse. Well, this'll fetch a nice price.
Consult the star charts is the draw. Just hold up our counters, I believe. I'll just keep that and discard it to deck.
I'm a talented improviser.
Yeah, I think we take Plateau over a 5th blue. I mean, we've got a white, we've got double red. No, let's keep all blue mana. Mox Jet. Good stuff. Get their black mana, and that is going to do something. Mountain Cyclone, Oliphant, sure. I'll certainly keep a Dak Phaeton. Steal their Mox Jet or one of their creatures. Currency Converter. Let's leak that, steal the Mox Jet. And then I have Confluence up still.
So sorry. I've got stick.
If we don't Confluence, we kick the Consult the Star Charts. Just taking 1 a turn now. You can resolve whatever instant you want. The shields are down. For a millisecond. Jesus. Land for turn. Blue, red, 1. Vivi. 2 different 2-mana counterspells held up here. And we start winning with Vivi. As you do in this deck. Total power toughness 5 or less. If I could cast 2 instants, I can't do that. Yeah, we just have to play counterspell. Mana drain the Dismember. Let's draw a card off of this Chromatic Star. Shields are down for a turn. They do get to resolve something now. Never mind. Shields are back up. Hold on, that's what Vivi Man is for. Planisphere. Slice. I need 5 mana untapped. I have 7. Can play Planisphere and still have Confluence. Planisphere on the Vivi is also like super gnarly. If we want to set that up, but it's unnecessary. Pyroglyph will get countered. Counter, kill the creature, draw a card. And there's the concession from our opponent, 6 and 1. This blue-red VV deck has taken us to the final boss, and we have 2 shots at it here. We have 2 attempts to try to get a full trophy run with our good friend Vivi. Alright, here we are on the play. Library of Alexandria. Feels like what I want to do. Which is going to mean not playing Sol Ring yet. So I draw the card next turn. I go 7 cards in hand, draw a card, and I just stay ahead in cards this game. As the plan. We are playing against blue-red. Okay, blue, red, and green. The island cycle for a tropical island. Third Path Iconoclast is the play. We can slice that for 1. Save the Unholy Heat, because it'll be more efficient always and cheaper a lot of the time. It will be more efficient always. It'll be cheaper always. It'll be more damage a lot of the time later on. Uro gives them some cards here. Gain some life, play a land. The Uro being able to flash back as well is not good for me. But they need a lot more cards in grave for now. Ancestral's the draw. They put Lutri in their hand. They pass through. Actually rather kick Consult than Ancestral here. I don't really care if that gets countered or remanded or anything. We've still got Library drawing us a bunch of cards. Okay, I have to play a card. I have to play a card that doesn't draw a card if I want to draw off of Library. I don't have any cards in my hand that don't draw a card when I play them. If I ponder into a land, that works, and I really do want more blue sources, so we ponder to a blue source. Uh-oh. That's a shuffle. And that's not a blue source still. Where my mana? Consult into a blue source? It's 4 cards deep. We really need islands. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. I only have a miscalculation up here, but I'm working on the blue mana as best as I can to get towards all these double blues. Let them resolve an instant here. Wan Shitong, sure. Big old 5/5 and some card draw of their own. Got an instant of sorcery in our grave. So we're not going to get to Unholy Heat right now. Could put Wan Shitong back in their hand, I guess. I think we just can't really do anything about it currently. Just play the Seed Shark. I might have to like Snapcaster the 4 damage thing and play Unholy Heat in the same turn later. For now. For now, we're hanging out. A library now. Discard a creature to hand size towards Unholy Heat, maybe? Yeah. We just need a land engrave now. Whenever opponent searches their library, so we definitely don't want to do that. That vigilance is painful. Take it. Time Walk plus Lutri on Time Walk. They don't have the counterspell alongside it, so they do not get the double. That doesn't work how they want it to. The Lutri's fully countered. Now they've wasted a Galvanic as well. Wow, that went so well for us. That was really lucky. Whew. I was really worried they were going to have their own, like, Mana Leak style thing and just get us. Discard land to hand size for Unholy Heat to kill Wan Shitong, and then we are golden. Blow this up before they draw for turn. Three steps ahead with 4 mana up. Counterspell, I still have Snapcaster Mana Leak up after that. And obviously mana drain on a 1 mana spell is not very impressive, so we're not mana draining. It might count as 3. I don't think it does because it's a spree card. I think it's just 1 mana. So it wouldn't do anything. Cool. We kill Wan Shi Tong, and now we're just killing them with flyers. I wonder how many cards this library... this library's drawn us a card every single turn. This Library of Alexandria has been absolutely busted. This was such a good library deck. Does Uro count as casting? Sure does. Let's Snapcaster the Mana Leak. Counter that. And then still have a mana drain for something they can afford it. They are so done with our absolute nonsense. We are 7-1. The only loss we had all day was to the Orcish Bowmasters early. Man. Yeah, the Orcish Bowmasters was very good because our hand was like Ancestral Library and like not much interaction, so we had to play a bunch of card draw to hit the interaction. Yeah. We got shredded by a Bowmaster, but outside of that, this was an incredible deck. Really, really fun stuff. Tons of card draw, whole bunch of good library games, whole bunch of good Vivi games getting the kills for us. We got some Seed Shark egg kills, some Iconoclast 1/1 kills. The whole deck really operating to its absolute best. This was a very good draft pot as well, I will say. We got some very, very powerful cards. We got Ancestral Recall, Library of Alexandria, Soul Ring, Mana Drain. These are all the cards that are like power or power adjacent in descending order of power level. Might be this order. It might be Soul Ring number 1, Recall number 2, Drain 3, Library 4. Drain and Library are the weakest of these 4 cards, but I'm not sure which is the better of them. And then everything else is certainly a step below these, but that's just because these are also busted, because the rest of the deck is still quite good. Most of it, you know, Vivi, Mana Leak, Miscalc. The cheap burn spells and counter spells to go with the Vivi are great. Seed Shark on Iconoclast just make a lot of sense this deck with the amount of instant sorcerers we have. We had some good deck Faden games, stealing a lot of mana rocks. The big expensive counter spells are great too, that put you ahead in card advantage because they draw when you cast them, like Cryptic Command and Mystic Confluence. Weirdly enough, I kind of enjoy Mystic Confluence more than Cryptic in these cube drafts. It's just easier to cast, and you get even more value in the right position. But Cryptic Command is technically a little bit more flexible. It doesn't matter how much mana your opponent has up, you're gonna counter their spell. And it doesn't matter what kind of permanent they have, you can bounce any permanent, not just a creature like the Confluence. But still, I mean, they're both excellent cards. They're both excellent cards. We had great mana. Just absolutely everything went great for the deck. Very, very happy with it. And I don't really have much else to say outside of gushing about how awesome this deck was, how awesome this draft pod was. Blue-red Spellslinger Control gets us our first trophy this time around in the Powered Cube. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.